It's another edition of the KFC Radio podcast on the Barstool Sports Network. Day 18?
Day 18 if you're smart. Day fucking zero.
Zero for the rest of the fucking world.
Dude, did you see the priest who said he won't stop having mass unless the National Guard comes and breaks it up? He had 1,000 people there on Sunday.
1,000? In where? What city? Where?
I forget where. It's in Louisiana. I just forget where specifically in Louisiana.
Let him. Let him.
The state with the worst outbreak, and he's having another mass tonight. It'll be Tuesday night. He'll have mass again. He said he will not stop until the government closes all doors. Well, he won't stop.
Then fucking send in the tanks. Send in the guard, man. I mean, like, I can't believe we're still at like people who don't buy into this. Like, I got it in the beginning. And then, like, in the first week, I was like, this is infuriating. But, hey, you can't trust people. By now, I guess I still had too much faith in humanity. But I am like stunned and appalled. There are still people who are like, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to go out today.
We have Jon Taffer on today. Jon Taffer, this is his livelihood. So when he tells you fucking don't go out, understand he knows what's at risk.
He's losing money. He's like, him more than anybody else is affected by this. And he's like, yeah, you're an asshole.
And it also starts to make me feel bad to the point where like, I'm sick of saying it. I probably sound like a fucking broken record, like an asshole, like an idiot.
Well, so our last episode, one of our clips on social to promote the episode was a stay-at-home clip. And I saw it pop up, and I was like, you know what? This is probably getting annoying. Like, I have no problem saying it, but we don't need to be highlighting it. We probably don't need to be putting it out there. It sounds preachy. It's done to death. Everybody knows it by now. Apparently fucking not. Let's fire up the goddamn clips. And you know what? I can understand, like, Louisiana, I didn't know they were having the worst outbreak, so maybe put them on the list of the assholes too. But if you're in the Midwest, you're on the West Coast, you're in some place that hasn't been hit hard yet, I can maybe understand you being an ignorant asshole. The pictures of the people in New York fucking City crowding the West Side Highway along the river to take pictures of the medical boat. I mean, New York City is the new Wuhan. It's the number one fucking city in the world. Like, woohoo, we're number one. We got the most fucking cases, the most people dying, the growth at the fastest rate, and those assholes are still crowding around to get pictures? What the fuck is going on?
It's crazy. I don't consider myself to be the most selfless person ever. I never have. I'm pretty selfish. But like, I don't understand how you can be so short-sighted to be like, I guess I'm selfish about it by being not selfish. Because I'm like, if I was reckless and I got sick and I got someone sick and that person died, I would never, ever forgive myself. Like, if I get sick right now, like, I'm doing everything I can. I'm not going out. I'm doing what I can. And like, if that happens, that sucks.
It happens. Yeah. It's like,
if I'm out fucking going to restaurants and taking pictures and just being like, hey, whatever happens, happens. And then like my grandmother dies of it. Like, that's so much therapy I'd have to go to that it wouldn't make any fucking sense. Just stay inside for a little bit and don't get on. When it's all said and done, you want to be able to say, I did everything I could to stop this. Consequently, doing everything you can is doing nothing. Just fucking do it.
I can't believe we're still saying this. We did the whole speech. We're not asking you to go to war. The other generations had to go to Normandy. We just ask you to stay home. We're still fucking doing it because people are still not believing in it. And it's really, like you said, I consider myself pretty selfish. And not even for 1 millisecond have I considered like not doing this. Because it's like, well, hey, if you do this, you might kill somebody. And if you don't do this, you won't. And people are like, nah, I'm going to do that thing. What?
What? There's really nothing out there. It's not.
I know, that's the other thing. It's like you're just walking along the fucking Hudson River taking pictures of a boat. Really? That's worth it?
I didn't understand all the hoopla about that boat. It's a boat. I get it's a crazy time.
It's an important boat, but it's a boat.
It's a boat. It's just a fucking boat. What's the big deal about the boat?
Shout out to David Geffen and his boat. That was something. You saw that tweet?
I don't know who David Geffen is.
He's like some, bajillionaire. Let me see exactly who he is, but he has a $600 million yacht, and he was like, I'm pretty sure he's the owner of Geffen Records, right? Is that?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, he's
I would get that would make sense.
Geffen Records. It's just like one of those one of the original like monster record labels, and he was just like, I'm isolating. It was just a tone deaf tweet. He's doing the right thing. He's on his boat, but he's just like, I'm self-isolating and social distancing on my mega yacht.
I'm gonna stand up for the celebrities.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they have nice shit.
What do you want to do? Light their houses on fire?
Yeah, it's like I'm social distancing. It just happens to be in a fucking awesome place that's better than yours. Sorry.
It would be one thing if you were like, this is so hard. I got nothing to do.
Right.
Blah, blah. But I don't see many people saying that. Most people just like posting videos from their houses. And everyone, goddamn everybody, is fucking quote tweeting it, being like, "Oh, you should check your basement. You should see you should see Parasite. Watch Parasite tonight." Shut up. We get it. Rich, bad, poor, good. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
They've worked hard. They've achieved success. They have a lot of money. They have a big house. They're not trying to shame people. They're not trying to say their life sucks. They're just saying, this is where I'm living right now.
It's a weird time because, like, you have to see the big picture, but you are also allowed to admit that, like, this shit sucks. Our friend Kelly Keegs had a very funny video where she was like, I know this is life and death, and I know we're talking about people losing jobs, but also what the fuck am I supposed to do about my nails? Because I got a gel manicure 2 weeks ago, and in 2 weeks I need to remove it, and now I can't remove it, and my nails are going to die, and the next one that's able to be, I'm able to order something, it's going to take a month to get here. What the fuck do I do? And it's like, I hate my fucking hair. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. It's growing too long. I just put on a fucking hat every day, which, by the way, these are selling like a motherfucker now that we've been wearing them. So go get your I like this one, the stay the fuck home, but apparently the wash your hands hat are flying through the roof. So we have stay the fuck at home hats, wash your hands hats, and work from home hats. So wash your hands seems to be the most popular. Blue, pink, black. Profits going to directrelief.org, which helps out nurses and doctors and healthcare workers. So I'm just going to wear a hat forever until this is over because my hair is driving me insane. And I'm not going to say that that's the most important thing because I know people are dying. And I know it doesn't – who cares about my hair because you lost your job. But for me, when I had to cut my own hair the other day because it was driving me insane.
That's nuts that you cut your own hair. If I cut my own hair, which if it goes to August, maybe I will. But I'm just taking a buzzer to it. I'm not shaving my hair.
I just went around the ears because that was what was driving me nuts. I want to grow my hair long. I have to grow my hair long now because of the quarantine. But when it touches my ears, I literally can't focus on anything else. So I just took a trimmer and I buzzed it. And your girl, Erica Fleischman, was furious with me. The way she worded it, she said, like, I said to her, like, compromise. Like, listen, I'm going to shave, like you just said. I was like, I'm going to end up shaving my head if I can't, like, just trim it a little bit. And I thought that she was going to be like, oh, okay, like, I understand. I get it, And she says to me, where did it go? It was so dramatic. First of all, she sent me the picture I posted on IG with the hair trimmings. And she said, what the fuck is this? Don't do this. And I said, she said, you doing any work on your hair is outrageous to me. It's like unacceptable. But, whether it's your hair, girls are freaking out about their eyebrows, their nails. I'm going to get insanely fat. You're worried about
it's okay. It's okay to have. It's one of those things. I think it's become kind of a thing we say a lot at Barstool. Where it's like you can have multiple thoughts in your head.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful that people are getting sick. It's awful that people are dying. Also, my hair is too long.
Right.
I'm not saying it's the most important thing in the world, but to me, it matters a little bit.
Yeah, I realize that, grandparents are dying, entire industries are collapsing. I'm also really fucking horny. That's happening. People want to fuck. People want to save the world. They also want to fuck. That's, that's human nature. It's like when your parents, the cliche of people saying, well, kids are starving in Africa. Like, there's always been tragedy going around. It's just that there's a very prominent one that the entire world is sharing right now. So all of a sudden, we're supposed to stop complaining about average things that bother us? That ain't going to happen.
No,
People are still going to complain.
It's
No.
it's going to be.
I'm a professional complainer.
Put that. In fact, let's write it on my tombstone right now for one day. Never stopped complaining. Was a whiny little bitch right until the end.
Consistent. The Cal Ripken of complaining every damn day. Never missed a fucking game.
Just the whiniest son of a bitch you'll ever see. You'll ever run around.
If you are, happy enough that you're not complaining, more power to you. If you can cut your own hair, do your own nails, and if you're quarantined with someone that you can have sex with, fantastic. If you are stuck right now with a spouse, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a hookup, a fuck buddy, a neighbor, an ex, and you can have some sex, good for you. You might as well make it last with a Roman swipe. Because the last thing you want to do is get your hopes up for some quarantine sex, or you break the rules and you sneak out in the night, you travel somewhere.
Do that.
Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. If me and you, if we were gay, okay? We were gay. And I know you've been following the rules, and I've been following the rules. If you came over and we fucked, is that a big deal?
Yes. Don't.
Why?
Do it. Just because it's not worth the risk. What are you talking about, Kevin? We just talked about this.
Right.
For 10 minutes, we started the show with this.
Well, but yes.
I'll fuck you later.
Right. But I'm saying that, like, if my like family member were to come over right now, if they were like, I'm gonna come.
This is the big problem. This is what's gonna start happening. People are gonna be like, well, we've both been following the rules, so we can hang out. And then guess what? Somewhere along the way, they're gonna touch a fucking pole that's gonna get sick, and then it's gonna go away again. All the people who were following the rules are now gonna start infecting each other because they're saying, well, we've been in quarantine for a month.
Yeah, I mean, I do. Yes. I mean, of course, the best way to do this is just nobody do anything. But I also think that it's almost like preaching abstinence. It's not going to work. So we might as well be honest and give you condoms. Like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if you get a little bit of if you scratch your itch of like some sort of human activity so that you don't go do something.
Dude, sex isn't even that fun. If it's sex, you don't need to do it. You don't need to go do sex right now. If you need to go get food, go get food. If you need to do sex, just don't do sex. It's very simple.
You are the exception, John. You are a freak alien who like doesn't want to fuck. Everyone else wants to bang.
Too bad. I don't know what to tell you. People want to go to work. People want to go to the bars. People want to drink.
But that I get. That I understand. But that, like, you can't do that.
You get to drink alone. You get to fuck alone. You get to I don't know, exercise alone. Whatever your vices, whatever the thing you like to do a lot, you do it alone, and that's it. That's the rule.
This is where, so the girls have a big leg up. I saw some girl's tweet went viral. She said, last night I set my vibrator to kill mode. I'm sure that there are girls just absolutely cranking that bitch up to 10. So they're good. I don't want to hear any girls complaining because you guys have goddamn weapons of mass destruction to work on your fucking pussy. You guys have like magical devices of sex.
Time for us. I think this is a big time for us.
What do you mean?
Men to rise up. To rise up, my friend.
I'm gonna rise up, gonna kick a little ass. What are we doing? How are we rising up other than my dick in my pants?
Because girls been saying, they're like, like, I got a vibrator. Who needs a man? Well, guess what? Now you got no dick. You realize it's a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
You like a little dick. Guess who's going to seize back the power?
Yeah.
Seize it back. It's the man. The power of the penis is coming.
I cannot believe.
Your Hitachi's not doing shit, is it?
I can't believe that they want to have sex with all the devices they have. Like,
Yeah.
you would rather have a guy, like, on top of you. Like, you ever think about when you're on top? I hate this. This always gets in my brain. When you're on top and you're basically, like, you're close. You're not holding yourself up. If you're, like, close, right? And their head is, like, right kind of in your shoulder. You know what I mean? You're basically, like, ear to ear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's got to be the worst.
Oh, guess what, Kevin? It's worse looking at me. That's why I always go to that.
Well, yeah, that is true. But I'm just thinking about, like, I'm just laying like this, and someone's, like, all up on my shit, putting their weight kind of on top of me with their head next to mine, and they're heavy breathing, and they're like, it's just like, oh, this is why you guys like this. Why don't you just sit there with your wand on your clit and just burst off 25 times?
I have a worry with that too. Not only about the men taking the power of the penis back. I'm worried about women accidentally castrating themselves. I feel like the clit is just like an eraser, and they're just erasing the shit out of it. Right? You got a Hitachi on there. What if we come and it's just a pencil with no eraser anymore?
there's actually, we didn't know this, but there's actually a finite amount of uses in the clit. Like you get 29, you get 200,000 clits, and you guys are just using them up right now.
It's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Soon we're going to be scratching away at the Scantron with a piece of metal.
You're ripping the paper. When you have to hold it perfectly flat and just go like this because there's.
It was hard enough to find before. Are you kidding
me? I saw another funny tweet. Some girl said, like it took me. What did it say? It said something like, the year that I discovered the clit, I almost failed the 11th grade. And it was on Reddit, and the top comment was like, I don't ever want to hear you girls complaining about how guys can't find the clit. It took you 20 years and you fucking have one. And you expect me to find it after a couple dates? Fuck off. Anyway, this is all one gigantic ad read for the Roman swipes, because if you are having some quarantine sex, you want to make sure that it lasts as long as possible, and that's what the Roman swipes do. You wipe it on, and within a matter of seconds, it numbs you up. I got to be honest, I did a little experimenting, and I just used one at home.
Again? You've experimented again?
Yeah, I just fucking jerked off with one. And it was just like, it just took that much longer. I just was like, okay. I didn't have to pause. I didn't have to stop. I just could power through and basically watch the entire video. Usually, I have to skim around. So you can
you fucked yourself like a porn star.
Basically, yeah. So right now you can get your swipes the first month for just $5 when you go to I can't stop coughing. When you go to GetRoman.com/KFC, you choose a monthly plan and you can get the swipes for just $5. Roman's also doing a bunch of cool stuff to help fight Corona, but first and foremost, they're trying to keep that dick hard, So go to GetRoman.com/KFC. Yeah, I do have to, without trying to be all doom and gloom, I think people still aren't understanding. And just so people understand the severity, this weekend, 222 people died in 24 hours in Manhattan. From Friday at 4 p.m. to Saturday at 4 p.m., 222 people died. The worst day yet. So I know you think that you've been doing your part and staying inside for 2 whole weeks has been your heroic effort. And hey, we're ready to go back. And sports must be coming back soon. And we have to go back to work. It's only getting worse. We still have not seen the peak where we're actually on the other side of things and getting better. So long fucking way to go, which is not to be discouraging, but it's just to be realistic that do what you got to do to keep this up. If you need to go to therapy, if you need to change up your routine, change your habits, we're not close to being finished at all. So, the first 1,000 cases took like a month. The second 1,000 cases took a week, which is also because there's more testing, so we're reporting more. But, it's still growing and changing at a rapid rate. And what was the latest reports that, between 100 and 200,000 deaths, not cases, deaths. So
that would be a good thing. If we keep it under 200,000, it's good.
Right. So, everyone talks about the big number used to be, 70,000 people die of the flu every year, and we're not talking about that. Well, it's more than 70 now. It's probably going to be 100 to 200. And, there are no vaccines, there's no treatment, there's no knowledge. So, no, we're well beyond the flu argument. We're well beyond, the fear-mongering argument. We're well beyond the political argument. It just is what it is. So fucking take it seriously, because it's only going to last longer.
And then we can stop talking about it too.
I know. I mean, I really can't believe that we still have to do the stay-at-home segment every fucking week, but we do. So get the hats. We also have the social distancing club shirts. John, this is how I know I need to reestablish how dumb humanity is. Do you know how many people were like, that's just a ripoff of the Antisocial Social Club? No fucking kidding.
Yeah. I know.
That's the point, guys. The point is there's a fucking company with social in it that makes these shirts. We changed it to be social distancing because that's the popular term right now, and we made it look like them, and we're selling it for charity. That's the fucking point.
It's like selling a Tim Riggins shirt and being like, "Did you know that guy was a character on Friday Night Lights?" Yeah, no, I know.
Come on, guys.
Well, Riggins Forever. Do you know that's a guy in Friday Night Lights and like Texas Forever was actually the phrase? No, I know. We're just kind of playing with it a little bit.
Zilly. That's like Bud Light. They say dilly dilly.
Right.
Yeah. But speaking of social distancing, we have a big announcement that we're very, very excited about here over at KFC Radio. We've been brainstorming nonstop in quarantine. We brought you Friday Night Pints. I did Corona Conspiracy Hour. We're doing we're doing cribs. We're doing all sorts of new shit to try to entertain. And I think this idea might be our best one yet. We've come up with a game show. The game show is called Social Distancing. It will happen on your social media. We will find out which contestants can go the distance. So hopefully every night, the idea is to do like a quick 10 or 15-minute stream. We're going to pick 2 stoolies. Maybe in the beginning, we'll do 2 bloggers just to kind of get the idea out there. But the idea is 2 stoolies each night. You have to donate $1 to Corona relief efforts. We'll get the donation page up and running. So you have to donate $1 to be in the running. Then we will pick from random 2 people to participate on a stream like you've been watching on Friday Night Pints or any of the live streams that you've watched. You'll be live on screen with us. Me and John will host it. And we will give you different challenges that you will do in your house while you self-quarantine. And the winners will get a gift card to the Barstool store, and you will get the Social Distancing Club hoodie. And we hope to raise a fuck ton of money and create a very fun game show that's going to have challenges like you've seen from Supermarket Sweep and other trivia shows and other physical challenge shows.
Oh, got one. Floor's
you got
lava.
A new one?
Floor's lava.
The floor is lava. Okay. How will this one work? So each contestant will have to what? Get from one spot to another in their apartment without touching the ground?
Yeah.
Now, each apartment's different, so you got to make sure it's equally difficult, but we'll see which participant can get from the couch to the living room to the kitchen without touching the ground.
Yeah, this one. Maybe we'll give them like a 2-minute setup or something like that. Where you can grab a bench, or you can grab something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to kind of plot your course.
Mm-hmm. Or you can do like fewest steps. So like you might touch the ground, but I did it in 1 step. You did it in 2 steps.
If you touch the ground, you lose that leg.
Okay. Okay. Not naturally, if you touch the lava.
Yeah, that leg's out. So you got to do the rest of the course one-footed.
Okay. So I like we're gonna keep adding. So if you have an idea for a physical challenge or a mental challenge, and you can you want to participate, give us the idea. Donate the $1, and every night we will see who can go the distance while.
It's sometimes it's so weird just how brains work. We're like. I just looked up and I was like, I wonder if I could jump to that couch. And I was like, oh wait, floor's lava.
It just clicks.
Brains just work weird. I don't even mean mine specifically. I mean, brains just the way they connect things is
well, we were on a call with Erica, Jen, our sales team, trying to come up with ideas. We came up with a bunch, hung up the phone, social distancing struck. It was like
this is your big one. This is your big one. I
needed like 30 more seconds. We were on the phone for like 40 minutes. And I just needed 40 minutes and 30 seconds to come up with it. So social distancing, the first ever Barstool game show is coming.
Tonight, at what time?
I think we should do 7 o'clock because that's like that's usually when you'd be watching sports is the 7 o'clock hour.
Okay. My one concern there is Fridays. We'll go right into that or over it. So 7:30 because Friday Night Punch is at 6.
Sure. 7:30.
Okay.
7:30 it is, first ever edition of Social Distancing. Hopefully by now we will have the donation page up and running, so maybe 2 stoolies can participate. If not, it'll be 2 of your favorite bloggers, and we'll get it going. I think it'll raise a lot of money. Hopefully, you could donate more than $1 if you wanted, but at least $1 to try to be in the running each night. And we'll raise a fuck ton of cash, and we'll do a lot of funny shit with.
I'm fucking jacked up, baby.
This is
gonna be a fun one.
This is the kind of shit that let's make quarantine fun. Let's make it interesting. You're sick of sitting in your apartment. Well, what about running around your apartment? What about climbing around your apartment? What about doing challenges in your apartment? And you miss sports? Well, why don't we compete with one another at night? So we're going to entertain all while raising some cash. And we're going to, hopefully this will be something I hope that like 5 years from now we're doing social distancing and people don't even understand the name, but the game show's still rolling because this is going to be one. I think it'll be fun whether or not we're quarantining or not. I feel like the best quarantine, the best social distancing quarantine entertainment I've seen so far is the Backstreet Boys.
Kevin.
The Backstreet Boys living room concert. Brilliant.
There's something about it. It's just
brilliant.
It's been a hard day for me because I've had to face some harsh realities.
I've been over here. Welcome. I've been BSB for life.
I thought this was going to be a segment where we were arguing.
Nope.
Because I thought you were an NSYNC. I've been Team NSYNC forever.
Don't get me wrong. I love them. I love them both.
Fantastic. Sure. Yeah. No, I'm not saying one stinks and one's good. They're both good.
Yeah.
But the better one, it's Backstreet Boys.
And I used to say, and I'll still give you this argument if you want to make it because we're splitting hairs here. If you want to say that NSYNC is top heavy and that their bigger hits are better than the Backstreet Boys' better hits, I disagree. I think when you start to look at it and you compare I Want It That Way to Bye Bye Bye, and you compare, I don't even remember the very first one they made, but they go toe-to-toe, and then there's no denying that Backstreet Boys has the bigger catalog.
Yeah, I used to think that used to be my argument, that the NSYNC has the better jams. And then as I was, because here's the thing, you can walk into any room in America, in the world perhaps, and you hit them with a "You Are," guess what's coming back?
My fire. Yep.
Every single time, 100% of the time. You can walk into a room in America and go, "God bless," and people won't uniformly reply back America. But if you go, "You Are," you're getting back my
fire. Yep.
10 times out of 10, every single time. And
I also like the very first one, "As Long As You Love Me." I think that was like the first boy band song that put boy bands on the map. That one's great.
Dude, you know what the best song is and the most underrated song of the boy band era?
What?
The Call.
The Call? That's the one where they're like cheating at the club, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a song about fucking other people, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's all their songs are about relationship stuff, and then it was just like, let me tell you about the call that changed my destiny.
Yeah. That was great. That was a great fucking impression. And yeah, doesn't he just pretend like the phone goes out and he's gonna go fuck the girl or something like that? Yeah.
Hey, baby, you're breaking up. I can't hear you right now.
I'm gonna go smash.
Yeah.
Now I will say point in the other direction to NSYNC. Digital Get Down, way ahead of the curve. Way ahead of the curve.
I don't know that one really.
Digital Get Down is just all about like fucking on FaceTime, basically. It's all about,
really?
It's all about like cyber sex. I don't even know how they were doing it, but yeah, Digital Get Down's all about like getting down digitally.
Dude, some of the songs that came out from then, like I was comparing it to like NSYNC they're the more iconic band because they were more iconic. They had the more iconic look. Like JT had like that spaghetti fucking ramen noodle hair, and JT's obviously become an icon, and the Backstreet Boys kind of just were whatever. So like NSYNC was the Cavaliers. NSYNC was the Cavaliers with LeBron, where the first time around, where you didn't have anything.
Right. The supporting cast. I mean,
LeBron. So
that to me, that's another argument in favor of Backstreet Boys. Any group that has Chris Kirkpatrick can suck my dick, dude. Like, fuck off. So you're right. Yeah, that was LeBron carrying
Mo Williams,
carrying Larry Hughes and Mo Williams to the finals. Yeah,
and then the Backstreet Boys. That's San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah,
no flash, no star. We're just gonna beat you as a unit. We're gonna fundamentally.
Well, so what I said, the comparison I make. I love that you went to sports as well. I said that Backstreet Boys is like the Pistons of the mid-2000s, and that NSYNC was like the Lakers. The Lakers had Shaq and Kobe, Malone and Peyton. They were very top-heavy. Everyone thought they were the best. But then the Backstreet Boys, which are the Pistons, they're just the well-rounded team. And if they go head-to-head, that well-rounded team over the course of 7 games, over the course of these catalogs, if you sat down and do song for song in a concert, Backstreet Boys could go for hours. NSYNC is going to run their best plays pretty quick.
Do you know Backstreet Boys number 1 selling boy band of all time? NSYNC, bunch of clowns, not even in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, who else is in there?
I don't know. I just saw.
It's got to be like New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, I mean the Beatles don't count, right?
Like, I hope not. People might like extend that definition, but It's got to be.
That'd be crazy. There's no way the Backstreet Boys sold more than the Beatles.
No, I don't think anybody ever sold more.
And then even the Spotify current streams. My argument too was that the Backstreet Boys, they held up. The NSYNC, they burned white hot, but Backstreet Boys songs still fucking bang. They do 13 million listens or 13. I don't know how numbers work. I don't know. 1 3 comma 3 numbers comma 3 numbers. That's 13 million.
Jesus. John, did you just not know the number 13 million? I didn't ask you to do any math. I just look at a number and say it. John, you just couldn't say a number right now?
I just wanted to cover my tracks. I said 13 million. I just wanted to be able to like any opinion I ever have, I want to be able to give myself a little wiggle room out of it.
And wait, just so to be clear, you said 13, comma, 3 zeros, comma, 3 zeros?
Correct.
Okay. Yes, that's 13 million, you dumb fucking asshole.
They still do 13 million numbers, 13 million streams a month. NSYNC, a bunch of jokers, they're like 6.5.
Trash. I'm telling you, Backstreet Boys is all class. They're the Hall of Famers. And I'm not, again, bye. It's gonna be May. And by the way, I just looked up the words to Digital Get Down. Baby, we're getting nasty. We can get freaky deaky. 20,000 miles away, but I can still see you. Digital Get Down's just what we need. Every time I'm sitting home alone, girl, I want to get you on the phone, girl. Pick it up. I can see you do everything, bouncing from satellite to satellite. I mean, I don't know how they were doing it. I don't know what technology they were using, but they were getting freaky deaky.
Dude, between that and fucking O-Town Liquid Dreams, just about coming in your pants.
Oh. I would have liked to have been in the fucking room for that one. Like, let's make a song about wet dreams. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm getting the lyrics right now. He just like made his what does it see? I dream about a girl who's a mix of Destiny's Child, just a little touch of Madonna's wild style, with Janet Jackson's smile, throwing a body like Jennifer's. You got the star of my liquid dream. Angelina Jolie's lips that kiss in the dark underneath Cindy's beauty mark. See what it tastes. When it comes to the test, well, Tyra's the best, and Selma Hayek brings the rest.
Dude, could you imagine being like, O-Town wasn't like superstars, but you know, you're in the industry and you're just talking about all the girls you're gonna come in your pants to. Dude. Like if Tyra Banks is ever like at your concert, like, yeah, hey Tyra, like fucking come in my pants to you all the time.
When it starts and they go, now this hot girl, she's not your average girl. I love this song. What's O-Town's other song? The romantic one where it takes place like in an empty theater. So good.
What is that song?
Fuck, what is it? God,
I love All or Nothing. I want it all. That one.
What a dude. We were just talking about obviously all kinds of boy bands today. LFO burned hot as fuck. 98 Degrees. That was an era, man. If you missed the boy band era, that was a time where it was almost like where like everyone in elementary school was like closeted. Where everyone was banging these, but everyone was like, "Oh, girls like boy bands."
Yeah,
and everyone was just pumping these fucking.
You could change the channel if you want. Like, yeah, my mom put that on in the car. I had to listen to it, dude. I had to.
It was a confusing decade for like young growing men, where it's like, if I like this song, am I gay?
Right.
And then they're like, kids would call you gay. I said it in the blog. My first fight ever is about a guy like I like NSYNC. Like, you're gay. I'm like, no, this song is a good song.
Right. Well, there was something. I wonder when it switched. I feel like Timberlake had a big part to do with it because I remember once Timberlake did like Nelly was on a song and he did like Timberland with Cry Me a River, and all of a sudden it became like hip hop and pop music, and all of a sudden it was just music. Like that's like Bieber now just does like it's music, it's pop music, it's rap, it's singing, it just became music. But back then it was definitely like, oh yeah, you're a big fucking gay.
Yeah, dude, and there were times too where I invited the criticisms. I think I've said this before. One time I went to school just in a straight up sweater vest, sleeveless, nothing under it.
You're asking for it
because it was a Jordan Knight wore it in one of I forget, it was either a Jordan Knight strict video or it was a New Kids on the Block video. And I remember vividly he was dancing. They're dancing at like a theme park. There's like a hole behind him, and it was just like it was an outrageous look. And I remember it was a blue sweater vest with two red stripes and a white stripe in the middle.
You went too far. You went full
I did. Hey, and look, sometimes in fashion you go a little too far.
You got to learn your lesson. You flew a little too close to the sun
with nothing under it. Too far. Cross the line.
I can't believe your dad let you do that.
I think he would probably go to school. He probably went to work before I went to school, but I was like, whatever, dude. I don't give a shit.
Right. That era, that you know that the boy bands went too far when you look at 98 Degrees. There's one dude who's in 98 Degrees who's bald, who he was just an ugly dude.
Yeah.
It was just what? This guy's supposed to be in a heartthrob band? I don't think so. We've gone too far.
I can never bring this up. I'm trying to mute this. It's okay. Hang on. It's Jordan Knight, Give It to You. I'm pretty sure this is it. Oh, he's not the one wearing it. There's just someone in his band is wearing it. It's a black guy.
Yeah, exactly. Some probably shredded black dude who can pull this off, and you and your cream cheese arms sticking out.
Dude, now that I'm looking at it, this might not even be a sweater vest. He might just be in a basketball jersey. I think it was sweater vest. I don't know, but that's not the point. With 98 Degrees, the Nick Lachey, when Ohio legalizes marijuana, Nick Lachey is going to become a billionaire overnight. He bought all their marijuana farms.
Wow, God, that's so smart.
It's I remember it was a big news because Ohio it was up for vote in Ohio. It did not pass, but it was up for vote probably last year, maybe something like that. And it was Nick Lachey is going to become a billionaire, and it was voted down.
Well, how much is that stuff? He's probably fine as is, and he's just waiting to become a billionaire. But the year, all right, this is the year it's going to pass, and then you find out it doesn't. I'll wait again. All right, let's get into our voicemails, and then we got Jon Taffer to wrap things up, which was a very interesting interview. A little bit bleak at times, some harsh truths that you have to hear, but also some very interesting stuff about the industry. So voicemails first, brought to you by Honey. Everybody is shopping online. Everybody already has been, but everyone's shopping online a lot right now because it's just a way to pass the time, if anything. But now that you can make money online while you shop online, make the experience even better with Honey. Honey is a free online shopping tool that saves you money by automatically finding you the best promo codes and applying them to your cart. So everybody always spends, everyone tweets me and emails me and asks me, what's the promo code? What's the promo code? What's the promo code? Well, first of all, you should always know it's KFC. Second of all,
Honey, it's not. And when it's not KFC, guess what? I'm going to tell you it's KFC because that's what I think they all are.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's KFC radio, sometimes it's KFC 25 or 15, but it's going to be KFC something. So just sit there and plug it in until it works. But for Honey, you don't even have to worry about it because it knows it. It finds the best one. It applies it to your cart, instantly saves as much money as possible at all sorts of online retailers: Target, Best Buy, Sephora, Macy's, eBay, Etsy, Walmart. All you got to do is click Apply Coupons when you check out. It's a little drop-down box. Wait for a few seconds for it to scan for every promo code on the internet, finds out which ones apply to whatever it is you're buying. Bam, the prices drop. So, you can save a nice chunk of money on all your purchases and roll it into whatever else you want to buy next, or save some extra cash, donate it to the Corona cause, whatever it may be. You'll have this Honey account and it'll show exactly how much money you've saved, which adds up to over $2 billion over the whole industry with over 18 million members. So we're talking, that's a diesel number right there. That means that a lot of people, everyone who's savvy using online shopping, is using Honey if over $2 billion have been saved. So right now, go to honey.com/KFC. It installs in your browser in a few seconds. It's secure, it's reliable, and it is literally just free money. So why would you not do it? Go to joinhoney.com/KFC. That's joinhoney.com/KFC. Installs in seconds. It's secure and reliable. It's literally free money. So go to joinhoney.com/KFC. First voicemail. Let's do it.
What's up, guys? Just a quick question. If you were just a normal guy, would you rather look like Gilbert Gottfried or sound like Gilbert Gottfried? All right, thanks. Let me know.
You got to go with look. He's not hot, but You know what? I feel like he's made like a career off that voice.
Yeah, but I think you don't get to make a career off it. It's you're just a normal guy.
Oh, okay, got it. Then it's a no-brainer. I don't think he's that ugly. I mean, he's like not a supermodel, but I don't look at Gilbert Gottfried like, oh my God, you're hideous.
I think that there's something to not having. I think he's too normal looking. Okay, I don't. Right, he's just like he's not a stunner. But he's not like grotesque.
Right.
I think there's something to having something about you that sticks out. Like if I just talk like I have a shitty voice. My voice sucks. I sound like nasally and I always say like a drunk baby.
You want to sound like Gilbert, like that.
Well, I feel like he leans into it a little bit. So I think you could probably have a little bit more of a normal discussion. You don't always sound like a fucking cartoon parrot.
I was gonna say you're not always Iago.
I think it's like that they say with what's his name? Fucking Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you got to be a little ugly to be hot. I think you got to have a little something weird about you to be attractive or noticeable. And
this is some fucking spin zone right here.
Here's the deal: if you meet me at a bar, like I think voices you get used to quickly. So at first you're gonna like, what the fuck, and then you're gonna drown in my voice, but it will be something that makes you. You ever see the marketing where people like intentionally hang signs upside down so you remember that fucking store? Like, oh, the store with the upside down sign. Yeah. I'm the guy with the asshole voice. You remember me.
I mean, yeah, they remember you by going, oh my God, I can't stand talking to that guy. You couldn't have a podcast.
Look, I don't have a fucking award-winning voice as it is. It's we're doing all right.
Completely normal voice, John. And let me tell you, when you start singing quarantine, you got a great voice. Shout out to Nick who put the fucking guitar chords behind it, turned it into a real song.
That was very impressive. But I think I'm just I don't know. He's short. I don't want to be short. I'm okay with. I think I could make with my looks. I think I could make a voice work.
Boy, he's 5'5". That's short. I didn't realize how short he is.
How 5'5"?
5'5".
Oh nope, I'm going.
He's listed at 5'5". So he's probably 5'3".
Yeah, I'll take 6'1" and a voice where I can swing that. I can just like this stupid beard I have and this stupid mustache. I
look like a bag of shit right now. I just, my sleep is all fucked up. I just couldn't sleep last night. I just stayed up, like just fucking staring at my fucking phone. My eyeballs are about to bleed out of my head because I'm not tired because you're just not doing anything.
No, you gotta come over here. We get the House of Horrors over here now.
What does that mean?
Just fucking push-ups all day.
Oh God, I know. I'm gonna have to. I mean, I'm definitely reaching a point of like, I'm like saturated with food. Like a sponge that's filled with water, but I'm just a body filled with food. It's just like I can't possibly put any more food in here, but I just keep doing it. I just keep eating.
What are you eating? You don't like? Are you cooking for yourself yet?
Yeah, I'm cooking, but not like
That was an impressive video, you by the way, shredding that beef the other day.
Yeah, you like?
Yeah,
I got a lot. Asa Akira was like, she texted me. It was like, this looks like professional. What's going on? I was like, I just fucking, I don't know.
Kev, the bars on the floor because I was like, ooh, he's got a bread knife. Look at him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't take much, but yeah, I'm cooking cheesesteaks and tacos and hot dogs and burgers. And
that's right. I knew you were doing tacos. That's right.
Yeah, I've done.
Have you been doing with the burger? You put an ice cube in it?
Say what now?
Magnifico.
You put an ice cube in your burger?
Yeah, Nate tweeted today. It's the only thing I know, like a little sneak tip about cooking.
Okay.
You're cooking a burger, you thumb an ice cube right in the middle of it. And
in like the raw meat?
In the raw meat, yeah. And then when you flip it, just keep that kind of like divot. It keeps it nice and juicy. Oh, it's delicious.
Interesting. So it's like all the way through, or just like a divot that you put the cube in, kind of?
I give it a good push. I don't make it hit pan, but you give it a good push in there.
Okay. All right. I'll give that a fucking shot. Yeah, because I cooked up some frozen patties the other day, and it was just like, yeah, this is not that good.
Nah.
They're like not quality meat, and so I gotta spice it up a little bit. Yeah, but it's just more like the snacks, the chips, the donuts, the cookies, the fucking all that shit, and I just keep on just stuffing it into my body. Oh, I'm getting like nauseous just thinking about it.
If you're getting nauseous thinking about food, you are decidedly eating too much.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've finally reached my point. I legitimately have probably had upwards of 60 tacos this month.
Well, tacos are the best. Tacos, we talk about that.
Yeah, I've been having 2 tacos per night, 6 nights a week for all of March.
2 is a small number. I usually rip 3, but I don't have them every night. But when I have tacos, I have them like a suburban mom with 3 kids who doesn't have time to sit down at the table and just eats them. I eat them right over the fucking pan.
I've been doing it good, and I talked about this on CCK because I'm doing a lot more on Instagram now. I started to put all these food things on Instagram. I cannot stand food Twitter, food social media. Everybody's got an opinion, a critique, a criticism, a fucking way to cook. I made tacos with meat, with cheese, sour cream, diced tomatoes, and lettuce, and I put spicy salsa on it. And this guy was like, "What the fuck are those tacos? Where's the lettuce? Where's the tomatoes? Where's the sour cream?" And I was like, "You're looking at them. It's on the fucking picture there. What are you talking about?" And he says to me, "Where are the olives?"
Olives?
Olives? I was like, "That you're going to come at me and then tell me to put olives? Fuck off." So I might be done putting my food on Instagram because it's bothering me too much, the criticisms. Fuck off. Next voicemail.
Steve, fight. First time, long time. I just got a quick question for y'all. I was thinking about it the other day. What do you think is the most apologized action for? So, like, for instance, people all the time say, "Sorry, I'm late," or apologize for anything like that. So I guess wanted your take on what you think people apologize the most for. Thanks, Steve.
Great question. Most apologized event.
Mine is just existing. I apologize for existing 20 times a day. Just like it's just standard things. Like if I cough, I apologize. Before anyone gets out of God bless you, I'm sorry. And that's not new. That's not a Corona thing. If I sneeze, I say I'm sorry before. If I make a noise that makes you aware I'm here, I apologize right away. If walking through a hallway, I don't even know what, like a hallway that perfectly fits 2 people. As we're walking by, I'm sorry.
Just sorry for being in the same vicinity as you.
My bad. I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the things that I say my bad to. My bad. But I maybe what about when you can't hear someone? You go, "I'm sorry."
Oh yeah.
Like at a bar with the bartender or over the phone. "I'm sorry, what?"
That's probably number. I say that all the time.
Because I have terrible hearing. Like if I'm out at a bar and it's loud, I'm sorry. Sorry, what? So that would be it for me. Anybody with bad hearing, but probably in New York City, bumping into people. Sorry. I think about how many times in human history a guy has come too fast and been like, sorry. It's not the most, but everything.
It honestly, just everything. I'm sorry is probably my most said phrase. I am.
That says
sorry.
So much about you.
It's just everything. Because guess what? I am sorry, but I don't know. I say I'm sorry. So I've oversorried myself. I say I'm sorry.
You're the boy who cried sorry.
That's what I am. I say I'm sorry so much that even if I do feel it deep down, I don't believe my own words. I'm like, come on, dude. What are you doing?
Come on. Come on.
Like it'd be like, oh, like you get texts from friends like, oh, like I can't go to this. Like, I'm sorry, dude. That sucks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you're not actually. I said I'm sorry so many times, it doesn't mean anything to me anymore.
If you get a sorry from John, it doesn't mean a fucking thing.
But like it does, but it doesn't.
Right. You actually are sorry.
Feel bad for you.
I feel like you're just.
I've oversorried myself.
It's almost like when you give.
I love that phrase. I'm using that phrase all the time.
Sorry myself.
Oversorried myself.
It's like when you give a couple God bless yous, and then it's almost like a blanket God bless you that spans all of the sneezes. That's you're sorry. It's like you're sorry for everything, but when you're saying it individually, you're not actually thinking about that individual moment. You are sorry, but not right then.
Right? Yeah. It's just, and I'm sorry is such a hard thing to, particularly in a text, because you can't get an exclamation point with it, but it just feels empty with a period. You're like,
yeah, you know what? I think that's why I think the emoji is good. If you put one of those emojis that's like this.
Oh, I think that makes it too playful.
Well, it depends. I mean, what are we apologizing for?
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever fucking.
I think a good I'm sorry, like, I'm sorry.
I think if you need a genuine sorry, there's no way to give it. I think a genuine sorry, I think, is the hard. Not a my bad sorry.
I think
I'm sorry.
I think if you put so in there, I'm so sorry.
The so helps.
I think so means real. I would say if somebody died or something, I'd say I'm so sorry.
I think you got to separate the I'm too. It's an I am, not an I.
I am so sorry.
I am so sorry.
How about me practicing not string texting, John?
But also now that we've found, I think that's a great way to do it. But also now that we've found the recipe, I don't think it counts anymore.
Yeah, now it sounds contrived.
Right. Yeah. We just fucked ourselves by solving the problem.
We oversimplified the sorries. The oversorry situation. Have you noticed my attempts to not string text, John?
I have.
It's so hard. It's brutal. I'm like, this is so obnoxious. This is so long. I changed gears. I'm giving different thoughts. I need a paragraph. Like,
that's fine. I can follow a changing of the gears. That's okay.
I'm only doing it for you.
I know.
Because it is in my head. When I do it my normal way, I'm thinking like, boy, I mean, this guy notably, like very publicly says how much he fucking hates this. He's probably receiving these texts like, God damn it. So
I mean,
now
you were also grandfathered in. Like there are some people who do it. I'm just used to you doing it.
Yeah.
When there's someone who it's just not. It's when someone who doesn't usually do it. It's just like.
Well, here's my thing too. I think it's different. If we're having a conversation and I know your phone is open to that text, I think it's okay.
Yes, that's different,
right? That because if it's in your pocket or sitting on the table and it's just like buzz, I get that because then it's like, oh my God, who's dead? And you open it up and it's just like one thing. But if I know you're looking at the screen and I'm just like, and this, it's different because
just. I will concede that. Yeah, if you know my phone is in my hand and open to your screen,
right?
You can't open a conversation with a string because especially I talk on the phone a lot, and when it's on my fucking head, hit me in the temple, I lose it.
Yeah, no, that's fucked up. I mean, here's the thing. I'm sorry. Couple more voicemails. Let's go.
So I'm wondering who the asshole is. My best friend of 12 years, I asked her to be my bridesmaid in my wedding, which is a year from now. And she asked me to change my wedding date because it's the Indy 500 that week. Am I the asshole if I just tell her to fuck off and get the fuck out of my wedding? Or is she the asshole for even asking me to
that is so funny, and I'm gonna have to say here that I would imagine this is pretty cultural. Like, I think this sounds ridiculous, but I bet you down there it's like you're the asshole for having your wedding on the Indy 500.
I guess, and people do it.
I bet you it is, man.
Weddings have just become like you're the asshole for having a wedding.
I know. You're gonna piss off somebody with your date, with the time. With the plane.
You can't ask someone to change it, but guess what? If you have it in the fall, every guy there and some women too are just going to be complaining like, "Oh, I don't even get to watch the games today. There's a great college football game on, an NFL game on." You're not going to be able to please everybody. Just don't have a wedding, because people are just going to bitch about it.
If you request everybody drop all they're doing on a weekend and come to your thing, you're going to piss somebody off. So. But I feel like this is equivalent to having, a wedding in Alabama when they're playing LSU or something like that. It's just like you just don't do it. Although she didn't sound particularly like redneck or whatever, but I would imagine put it this way, if the Indy 500 means something to you, it means everything to you. You know what I mean? There's no in between.
Isn't the Indy 500? Doesn't it start like 4:00 on a Sunday?
I don't know because it means nothing to me, but
I feel like that's one of those.
But I feel like that's like dude, it's probably 4:00 on a Sunday. You probably show up on Thursday. Like I think it's you put the trailer park out and the bus and so
I've been to 8,500.
What?
I've been.
Yeah, how'd you do it?
We went with part of my take, the first grit tour, and we went. It was exactly what you said. In fact, I didn't remember I went until you said it. You probably get there on Thursday. We got there on Thursday. We had to leave because we had the fucking bus, and people. We were so tired from Grit Week.
They're all just coming after you.
We were just trying to sleep at 8 p.m. People were climbing the bus and like jumping on the roof and stuff. We ended up just going to a hotel and pretending we were there.
See, that's the indie people. I feel like it's their like religion. So
we've been on the road for 10 days. Can we just nap a little bit? And it was like, let's go, boys, get out here.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of respect. Like it. I think she's you're the asshole for asking someone to rearrange their marriage for a sporting event, especially one that happens every year. If someone wants to get married on Super Bowl Sunday and the Jets somehow are in the Super Bowl, that's a problem. 8,500, it happens every year. So I don't think you can ask someone to rearrange, but it is such an asshole request that I feel like I have no choice but to respect you. I think you guys should just go your separate ways. Just like, okay, fine. You don't have to come. You're not going to be in it. I'm not going to change my wedding, but you are free from this.
Yeah, I can't imagine asking someone to change. Like even honestly, like Super Bowl Sunday is crazy. Obviously, that's one that's not even up in the air.
Right.
But like, if there's a fucking, because it's like usually fall weddings. If there's a big Pats regular season game, I mean, I'm not asking you to change the goddamn fucking wedding. That's insane.
No.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Like, I got married October 4th, and like in my mind, I was worried about playoff baseball. Everyone's from New York. I'm worried about the Yankees. I wasn't even considering the Mets at the time, but like, a lot of the Barstool guys were like, "Oh, college football's on." I'm like, college football does not register on my schedule of things to worry about. But if you're inviting hundreds of people from every walk of life, there's going to be something that weekend, that day, that somebody wants to be at rather than your wedding. So those people either need to come or not come. I guess it's different when it's like, yo, you're close to me. I would want you in this wedding, and you just don't want to come because of the race car event. But to each their own. I think you just go your separate ways. Last voicemail before Taffer. Let's go.
What's up, Fight? KFC, super producer BC. First time, long time. So I work at a grocery store, and it's pretty fucked up right now. Everyone's coming in and raiding our shelves, and stocking up for the quarantine, and it's got me thinking that if all the grocery stores close, like everyone's gonna need to go and stock up one last time. So if you got one last trip to the grocery store to stock up for the next couple months, what are you stocking up on? What are you buying a shit ton of? Viva.
Tacos!
Tacos is like fucking hamburger beef is a great one. It's a really good
hamburger meat. Get a bunch of the tortillas. How about right now at the grocery store, you can only buy one milk. They have a restriction. Why? I mean, milk goes bad in like a couple days. Why? Like, who's hoarding the milk?
I'm idiots, but guess what? You have to defend the world from idiots sometimes.
I guess so. Like,
I saw there was like a video or Twitter. Someone was just like in front of someone's house with just like 10,000 loaves of bread. And guess what? They all went bad because fucking you can't stock.
You cannot hoard perishable items. I got 1% milk for me, whole milk for the kids, and they were like, "No, you can't." And I was like, "This doesn't make any sense." And they were like, "I don't know, man. It's just the rule." I was like, "All right, fine, but like, you understand the logic here, right?" Like,
I guess that is kind of crazy to be like, if you're like, "Well, this is what my kids drink. This is what I drink."
Right.
But but yeah, I mean, I can definitely picture that there were people
like,
in the market buying 10 gallons of milk.
But what if I had my mom used to buy 4 gallons at a time just for normal everyday life because she had like 2 sons and a kid and you know what I mean? Like 1 gallon of milk is not enough for if you have several children. So I don't know what the people are doing right now, but anyway, I would get hamburger meat. I would get, you know what I haven't tapped into yet? When I first was like real scared, I bought a fuck ton of soup because, it's like the most, in the cans. It's going to last forever. And there's some good fucking Campbell's soup out there now, man. It's not just It ain't just chicken noodle and vegetable soup anymore. They got like Chipotle quesadilla, chicken quesadilla soup and stuff. And I haven't tapped into it yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
I'm a soup boy. I ran through my soup fast actually.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of soups and I was smashing soups and sandwiches. Fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Sandwiches, people don't give enough credit. And by people, I mean I think everybody but me does give enough credit.
I was gonna say sandwiches are universally probably the best food there is.
Yeah, I've never been a big sandwich guy, and I was crushing.
I would venture to guess. I will put this down. I make the best non-mom cooked grilled cheese ever.
You use mayonnaise?
No, that's
not good. Garbage grilled cheese. Next.
I mean, I like mayo, so I can get down with this, but I don't. You use that as the spread, or like to put on the pan? You mean?
Yeah, pop a little mayo on there. Yummy.
I use butter for that, but I could probably get down with the mayo. But you know how I don't know what moms do, but it's just like it's just better. They use it's like the same amount of cheese. I don't know how they do it. They cut it diagonally, and it's just better. But other than mom's, best one in the game, best one.
I think this is a pretty easy. Anytime if this was a different kind of question or a different era of the world, and you're asking this question, I think you just get healthy shit. You don't even give yourself an option anymore.
Yeah, if it's truly like this is your last shot, and then
it's your last shot, like there's nothing else I'll be able to eat but healthy shit. Get healthy shit.
Frozen like vegetables and all that kind of shit, so that you can just eat that and survive.
You cut your vegetables yourself, Kevin.
Well,
you're taking all the nutrients out of it. Come on.
I'm saying if you need to stock up, you have to get frozen ones so that it lasts forever.
You're right.
Yeah, that's right, motherfucker. You know what I just realized? We're going to get to Taffer in a second. Our show has been affected by coronavirus 0%.
Well, we start off preachy first.
Right. Don't get me wrong. First, we have to get on our soapbox, get on our pedestal, and be preachy assholes. But after that, like, I'm just thinking about, like, chicklets and foreplay and fucking what are they doing right now? We're just still talking about grocery stores and fucking and stuff. Has not affected us one bit. We are quarantine proof. We are pandemic proof here at KFC Radio. All right, let's talk to our boy Jon Taffer, who really, we describe it in the interview, but between shutting it down and between the hit that the bar and restaurant industry has taken, he is the best guest in the business right now. It's brought to you by Manscaped. So just because you're in quarantine doesn't mean that you got to let your pubes go. And actually, when I took a picture of the sink, when I cut my hair, people thought that it was my pubes. Now,
gross.
Now, first of all, how would you get the pubes in the sink like that, right? And second of all, if my pubes looked like that, it was like long, wet chunks of hair that I wet my hair and was cutting it. I don't know what your guys' pubes look like, but it doesn't look like that. No. I don't know how I would get it. What was I standing, straddling my sink or something? It wasn't the tub or the fucking
fucking flat iron them first.
Right. So no, that was my hair. But I did Manscape as well because there's just something about, I don't know, it just feels weird to me when I got a fucking bush down there. There's no doubt in my mind Feidelberg is rocking like the 70s right now. No shot you got anything but a fro down there, right?
I just no, but I haven't shaved either. I'm just fucking hairless.
I feel like, the Manscaped has the lawnmower 3.0. I feel like Feidelberg would need an actual lawnmower right now to just fucking whip through those hedges. But for the rest of us, the lawnmower 3.0, it's waterproof, it's nick-proof, it's got advanced technology to make sure that it is the smoothest shave possible. It can last for 90 minutes. So if you're down there for a while, getting creative with it, the battery is going to last a long time. The perfect package 3.0 not only comes with the lawnmower, but it's got the crop preserver, it's got the ball deodorant, it's got everything to make your nuts smell good and feel soft so that, let's really think about it. Asking a girl or a guy to go down on you is just such a fucking ballsy request, no pun intended. Like, just put your head in between my goddamn crotch. Like, are you serious right now? So throw him a bone, again, pun intended, and fucking clean it up, make it smell good, make it feel good, and that way you'll feel your best and perform your best too. So right now, go to manscaped.com and use the promo code KFC, and you'll get 20% off with free shipping. Your dick and your balls and whoever it is that's putting their face with their dick in their balls will thank you. It's manscaped.com, promo code KFC for 20% off plus free shipping. Jon Taffer, let's shut it down and talk to him.
You should see my bar at home. We've turned it into a studio, so we got a 4-camera studio going here. Crazy, but good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. How you doing?
Hanging in there, man. I'm in day 11 of quarantine. 11.
Yeah, I feel like that's where most of us are at. Some of us are a couple days ahead of that. But we jumped at the chance to talk to you because two main things. One,
you love me.
Three main things. One, you love me. Two, the country took a page out of your book and just shut it the fuck down. And three, I feel like the bar and service industry is getting hurt worse than anybody. So who better to talk to you than you right now? So, and just really your thoughts right now on everything that's going on. It looks like you're adapting well business-wise, but how are you holding up your family and everything else?
Well, it's tough, guys. You know, guys like you and I were out there. You know, we like to be around people. We're social by nature. So being locked in my house isn't fun. Now, I got every toy you could imagine here. I got my huge bar. I have a flight simulator cockpit upstairs in my house. I have my drum set. I have my Marshall short stack and my guitars. I got a lot of shit that I can.
You're complaining, Taffer? You want to come here? I got a fucking broken TV. That's it.
That's it? Well, you got to get yourself a good TV. But anyway, so it's hard. I'll tell you what.
Fly drunk?
I've been drinking a little more than I normally do. Matter of fact, I'm having some Taffer seltzer, which we've had together.
Yes.
But, you know, guys, what was fascinating to me is yesterday afternoon, because we're not in lockdown in our homes here in Nevada. All the businesses are closed, but we're still allowed to go out. So I took a drive down to Las Vegas Strip, and it was just unfucking believable. None of these casinos had locks on your doors. Locking the building had never been contemplated before. So everything is boarded up, man. It's really, really hard to see.
Wow,
so,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
If you're 24-hour business, what's the point of a lock?
Right. They never even thought that they'd ever have to lock the building before. And the last time ever that the Las Vegas Strip was closed was in November 1963, the day Kennedy was shot. So it's just.
Why'd they close it then?
I guess out of respect. You know, when Sinatra died, they blinked the lights. So Kennedy got the whole strip closed. Sinatra got a quick blink. So I guess it's all relative.
Now, how many of those businesses that are boarded up? Obviously, those are the casinos. They're probably a little better off. But basically, businesses across the region or the country, how many do you think are set up to survive? If let's say this goes 3 months.
Well, you know, there's two things to talk about, guys. How do you survive the pandemic, and then what do you do after the pandemic? So surviving the pandemic is tough, guys. I mean, in New York, they're allowing them to sell cocktails, but you got to sell food with the cocktails. Guys, you know, in a bar, you'd sell 100, 120, 150 drinks in an hour. You can't deliver 150 drinks in an hour. So there's no way they can replace the revenue of a full restaurant with a delivery service. I believe most restaurants are probably going to lose money with these delivery services. Now, some are doing really cool stuff. They're deconstructing their meals. They're shipping them out raw delivery so that you can make it yourself at home. And I was even telling bars that want to sell cocktails to go that don't have food, sell ham sandwiches. If you buy a ham sandwich, you can get a 6-pack of beer. So there's a way to connect it back to food, to be smart about it. But here's what really freaks me out. What happens after this? And I've been working really hard on this the past few weeks. Social distancing is not going to disappear so quickly, guys. Right. This flu, if it subsides for the summer, is going to come back in the fall. So social distancing, I don't think we're going to be so quick to sit shoulder to shoulder with a stranger in a movie theater or a bar for a while. Right. I think that we're going to want to stay separated. So when you think about that, think, okay, how does this change the bar business? Bar restaurants are going to have to spread their seating out, aren't they? You're not going to want to sit 6 inches from the guy at the next table, right, who's sneezing or coughing. You'll walk out in today's world. So they got to provide more separation for the tables. So when they separate the tables and they start separating the bar stools, they lose 30 to 40% of their seating capacity. And this is what scares the shit out of me. So when we come out of this, we're going to come out of this with less seats in every bar and every restaurant. So let's assume that everybody wants to come back and do business with you. I'm concerned that the greatest potential we have after this is about 70% of what we had before it. Right. Make sense?
Yeah.
They can't move in a lunch. You know, they have an hour and a half for lunch. If you have 30% less tables, you got 30% less revenues in that hour and a half. There's no way around it. So movie theaters, I spoke to a friend who's president of a movie theater chain, told me that what they're looking at doing is cutting theaters up into clusters. So there's 2-seat clusters, 4-seat clusters, and 6-seat clusters. And they're spread around the theater with distancing between them. That means the theater loses 30 to 40% of its seating as well. They're going to try to make up the revenue by doing what they call cluster catering, almost like bottle service in a nightclub, right? Where you can order food, you can get, and there's a little table in your cluster, but still theaters go down 30% in occupancy then. So the ticket prices need to go up. And now Universal is distributing a new movie direct to us on streaming.
Yeah.
So are movies even going to be distributed through movie theaters anymore? Or is it just going to become all streaming and then it's going to be a higher price for a first run movie?
We've been saying that.
Sorry, good.
We've been saying that for a long time because they had Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, $50, and that made $750 million opening weekend. And we were like, if the movies did this, I've bought probably 4 movies already, brand new, right from the theaters, $20 each. I've always said I would do that without a doubt. You know, there's some movies that are a big theater experience, right? Like something like a 1917, where you kind of got to go to the theater for that. But there are plenty, like the Ben Affleck, The Way Back. I watched that on the couch. That's a fine one to watch on the couch. So if I think there definitely will be, the movie theaters will be, as we know them, a thing of the past.
I think so too. And then you look at Broadway, and Broadway is I think, in the most trouble because it's an older demo, a more affluent demo. So, you know, they're the quickest ones to react to this. They're older, so they're not going to sit shoulder to shoulder with a stranger either. And I don't know what happens on Broadway. That scares the heck out of me because I happen to be a big Broadway fan. But there's a company called Shift 4 Payments, and they're a big POS company. They provide all the POSs on Bar Rescue and all that for me. And they have hundreds of thousands of bars and restaurants in their network. And they tell me sales in the restaurant industry are down 90%.
No.
90%.
Yeah, I mean, right.
So
makes sense.
it's horrifying. So they did something cool. If I can just plug what they're doing, there's no profit in this. They created shift4cares.com. Anybody can go on there and buy a gift card from their local restaurant on shift4cares.com, and Shift4 gives an extra 5% to that restaurant. So if you're going to order or buy a gift card from a restaurant, do it on shift4cares.com so that restaurant gets the extra 5%. Those are the kind of things we all have to do to get the industry over this hump.
That was my next question. I mean, like, there's a local bar that I love that I did like a little fundraising for, but you know, it made like $3,000, and this place, their monthly rent is like $35,000. I mean, it feels like a drop in the ocean. Is there anything to do that we can do? I mean, like a company like that, sure, but is there something on a larger scale? Is there, all these things feel just like, you know, putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound.
It is, Kevin, and you know, thank you for doing that. I've done the same, buddy. But here's what the problem is if you do 150 lunches in an hour, you can't do 150 deliveries in an hour. Mm-hmm. And if 100 people call you for deliveries within 20 minutes, you got to start saying no to people. We logistically can't do it. So there's no way in the world this delivery system is going to get us back to profitability. It's a way that maybe we can keep paying our employees because we don't want to furlough or lay them off. I mean, that's the last thing that we want to do. We love.
Do you think you could do something like, if I was a restaurant owner, could I do something like, if you buy, like I think a gift card would be a good idea, right? It's like I can get some cash right now, and maybe 6 months from now you get double the money, or you get 2 meals or something like that. Can that be an option?
I think it is. And I think some of our peers are doing it. You can buy $100 gift card and you get $150 credit on it.
Right.
It gets the money in quickly. I'll tell you a funny story. Years ago, I once funded a bar that way. Years ago, when I wanted to open a bar, I needed $250,000. And I got a bunch of people to buy gift cards for the bar that didn't even exist. And I used the gift card money to open the bar, and then they all came in and used their gift cards.
I mean,
so raise a lot of money.
Yeah, listen, that's something right there that I think would make sense. If you told me, give us some cash now, you know, maybe for even nothing, just your biggest diehard fans, give me $100 now, and when we're back on our feet, you'll get, you know, 2 or 3 times that back, or you'll get a special experience or whatever it may be. Because I think people need to start realizing, and I think they are, that it's like, I want my favorite spot to still be open when we're back on our feet. So I got to start to do what I can do. So, I mean, you have to get that mentality going, really.
It does, and it takes that, and I applaud you, Kev, because it takes that attitude of this is important to me to save these businesses, so I'm going to do what I can to save them. And I think that's an attitude we all have to have. You know what really pissed me off is the federal government is talking about bailouts for the cruise line industry. The cruise line industry is owned by 3 mega corporations and does $60 billion a year in revenue. The restaurant industry is the largest non-government employer in America, does $900 billion in revenue, but they're not talking about that. And,
Right.
you know, it really freaking pisses me off. And I think, Kev, more people need to have your attitude of saying this is important. We need to save this. And
Were you? I
hopefully
mean,
we will.
as a restaurant bar type of guy, were you okay with these measures? I mean, I guess you're learning a lot about people, whether or not they're down to shut their businesses down for the health of others. But I could understand if I was a bartender or a waiter, that I would be like, I don't know. I'll risk it, or like, no, we can't do this because it's going to mean the end of my livelihood. Were you okay with everything though? Like you just understood that you have to do this?
Let me put this the way that I'm going to be straight fucking honest on this, and I'm going to be hard on this. When I saw people in Florida on beaches and then coming home from spring break and they're going to be with their fucking grandparents and their parents and their brothers and their sisters, if somebody chooses to go out right now and have social contact with an individual, they're a fucking asshole. It's the most selfish, inconsiderate thing somebody can do. To think that your choice could endanger somebody else, you don't have that choice. We don't have the right to endanger somebody else. That's where the line is drawn. And that's why this pisses me off, Kev. See, if it doesn't affect you, if you're not going to carry it to somebody else and you want to do it to yourself, go for it, buddy. But how dare us threaten each other? How dare us expose each other? That's bullshit, and that needs to fucking stop. It infuriates me. And now we're seeing that a bunch of those people from spring break are now coming down with it in New York, et cetera. So they fuck themselves as well. But this is the thing of public responsibility. This isn't about you and me. This is about other people and us protecting other people. And that's an obligation. That's what I think.
Smart man. Smart man.
Recap?
Smashed it, John. Yeah. We've been trying to say it, and I always feel bad because I'm good at it. I'm easy going at laying on the couch watching TV. You were giving us a lot of credit earlier, saying we're active social folks. Not so much, but so I'm great at this. But when I see people out there, it stuns me. It absolutely stuns me that someone would have the audacity to go out. When you see it's impossible to avoid the news. It's not even, you can't even say you're uneducated. You've seen it. You've seen you've seen Twitter, you've seen Instagram, you've seen the news, you've seen how bad it is for people. To go out there is one of the most selfish things that I've ever seen.
And you know what's driving me crazy? And I know it's going to happen too. Fast forward a couple months or 6 months or whatever this is going to take. When we do come back out and everything just kind of seems to be like it once was, there are going to be guys going, see, like I told you, we didn't need to do this, not realizing that the only reason it's like that is because we did this. It's going to drive me fucking crazy, but I know it's going to happen. It's
I agree. We are getting past this, but we have to get past it together. If people step out of the tribe, so to speak, and go out on the street and do what they're not supposed to do, then we're in trouble, guys, because this is a serious, serious problem. We've shut down our economy. Think of that. Yeah. If we don't get this together quickly, we could have bread lines. I mean, it could all unravel, guys. Thousands of New York City cops are getting sick, just read about an hour ago. Yeah. What happens when unrest begins? Is this anarchy? We've got to get this together, and we've got to get it together quickly, or we're going to ruin our economy. Small businesses are not going to reopen, and stay the fuck home so we can do that.
Is there any sort of option, and I don't know if this is above even what you do, but my thought is kind of like, can't we just press pause on everything? So like if a restaurant owes rent, but if nobody's liabilities or payables or whatever, if we just press pause on all that, can't we just kind of ride this out? Or is that just not economically and business-wise an option?
Well, California just got mortgage relief for all mortgage holders. They don't have to pay mortgages for 60 days. I got to tell you, here's an example of an asshole, and I won't say who it is. I get a letter from my landlord the other day. My offices are here in Vegas. We have studios and offices here. This is our base. And we're in a facility with a bunch of other people. We pay rent. I get a letter from the landlord reminding me that rent is due on the 1st of June, on the 1st of April. And if I don't pay it on the 1st of April, there's a 15% late fee as per my lease. Now, I've been in this building for fucking years. I've never missed my rent. I'm not going to miss my rent. And they send that letter out during this pandemic. the biggest asshole thing a landlord could ever do. It was unbelievable to me. So I called them, told them to go fuck themselves, and threatened to put them on social media to show what a bad landlord is. I'm going to pay my rent. But to put that pressure on someone who can't pay their rent right now is out fucking outrageous.
Right.
So landlords need to understand, because their bankers are going to understand, and the chain has to go up.
That's
Ken.
what I mean. If everybody just agrees, hang on, it would work, but it takes, I guess, the whole chain to do so.
You can do something that's called a moratorium on a loan. A moratorium on a loan means we stop for 90 days. I don't pay anything for the 90 days, and the loan runs 90 days longer at the end. It's a little pause. We just extend it. So this has to work from the top down. The banks have to provide the forgiveness so the landlord can provide the forgiveness so the small business operator doesn't have to pay rent, so that he has some way to have the money in his pocket to reopen. And guys, reopening a restaurant and bar isn't cheap. You got to restock food. You got to retrain employees. It costs thousands and thousands of dollars to reopen. So if that money goes to the landlord, it doesn't reopen. Now the landlord has a vacant space. Who's the fucking idiot then?
It just feels like when you say 90 days too, it's like, it's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long. If we could all just chill for 90 days in the grand scheme of years and years and years of operation, it seems like it would help, but I know it's easier said than done.
I have an idea for future businesses. Now, this isn't going to work this time, but whenever you open a new restaurant or even an apartment or a house, decorate it like a dickhead inside. Make sure everything's impossible to fix. Because Cheesecake Factory just did that. They said, we're not paying our rent. We're done. And it's like, who the fuck are you going to find to fill a Cheesecake Factory? Like, even if they don't pay their rent, you can't evict them. No one's going to move into it.
That's right. It's too big a space. It's what we call a big box restaurant. What's interesting is the average Cheesecake Factory does about $12 million a year in revenue. They're one of the highest revenue per store chains in America. So when you look at a chain like that does that kind of volume and they can't pay their rent, well, think about Joe's Bar. How the fuck does he pay his rent?
Right.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend.
These big corporations have credit lines and banking relationships and all sorts of resources that, the small business doesn't.
Yeah. What were you saying, John?
I was talking to a friend who runs a small bar, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to be there when this is all out. And he's like, buddy, you're probably not going to be there anymore. And I kind of knew that in the back of my head, but I was still trying to give him like a little bit of hope or whatever. And he's like, yeah, if this goes a long time, then we're not here.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, guys? I believe that the kitchen of the future is going to look a lot more like an operational or surgical room than a kitchen. If you go to a place where they make food, like a Tyson factory or, a Hormel factory or something like that, everybody's wearing face masks. They're all in hazmat suits. They're all in caps. It looks like you're in an operating room. That's the level of sanitation that exists in the companies that produce these food products. Now that product comes to the kitchen, the guy isn't wearing a hazmat suit. He's not wearing anything on his hair. He's not wearing a mask. He's breathing on the food. He's touching it with his hands. All that sanitation falls apart. And I'm not trying to plug anything here, but I created Taffer's Cavern, which is opening in Atlanta in July. And I created, it's worked on 2 years, the kitchen of the future, which is completely robotic. We've been designing it and developing it for 2 years. It opens in July, God willing. And all of the food, there's no raw product in the kitchen. It comes out of a commissary kitchen. Everybody in the kitchen is wearing suits, face masks. Nobody can breathe. Nothing is touched by human hands. It's surgically sanitary.
Wow.
It's absolute. So I just trademarked the name, Taffer's Safe Dining System. And I'm focused on creating the kitchen of the future. And I really believe that kitchen of the future, that cook is going to look more like a surgeon than a cook. And that's okay. That's how we protect ourselves. And the restaurant industry has to send that message. They have to send a message when we start to come out of this that they've changed, that the stuff that they see on Bar Rescue isn't going to happen anymore, that they are cleaning services, they are putting people in clothing, they are wearing face masks. The restaurant industry has to change so that the consumer can get confidence to come back. I have a lot of friends who won't even eat to-go food, guys.
Right now, I won't do it. I'm cooking all for myself right now. Do you find it when you're talking about the Taffer's Tavern kitchen, the kitchen of the future, and the surgical setups, do you find that difficult? Like chefs are notoriously kind of divas, from what I hear. You have more experience than I do. But do you find it difficult to get them into that suit? Do you think they're hard to change their ways?
Well, I'm going to tell you something, and I love chefs, and I work with a lot of them, and a lot of them are my dearest friends. But the future of food is not chefs. The future of food is technology.
Wow.
Technology is safe. Chefs are not. Now, chefs will work in big kitchens. They'll make commissary foods. They'll share rescues. But the day of 5 guys in the kitchen creating food in that kind of an environment is over. Everything in the food service industry is going to move towards technology now, because technology is consistent, it's exact, it's clean, and it's cheaper.
So if I'm like a Michelin star chef, you're saying I'm going at it. I'm going to be.
I'm saying that. I think that there's a place for Michelin style chefs everywhere, but that's a very unique niche, just like there's a place for fine wines everywhere and fine spirits everywhere. That's different. I'm talking about mainstream America, that the future is not going to be chefs. It's going to be technology. And I'm seeing it, and we're working on it ourselves.
Are you seeing anything that's coming out of this? Like for us, we're kind of, I'm seeing this almost as an opportunity. Like we're doing live streams now, and we're doing a lot of over the internet. Like, is there anything in the bar or restaurant world that you can find some good in this? Is there anything positive coming out of this? Like, hey, here's a new way to make money. Here's a new way to do something, or is it just all bad news?
I think it's sort of all bad news, to be honest with you guys. But what I think is happening is I think that the stronger, the fighters are going to survive. The fighters are the one who say, no, I'm not paying the rent to the landlord, and hold their ground. The fighters are the one who, keep working in the marketplace, just can't stop communicating and working it. The fighters are going to win. What scares me is there's so many people who just said, like, they're in a shutdown mode. They're like paused. Pausing ain't fucking cool. Right, now we have to do stuff to keep our relevancy out there and keep this going in some kind of a way. It's scary, guys. My own prediction, and this is not scientific, this is just me. I believe 40% of all bars and restaurants are going to close and not reopen.
That's what I was going to ask you. That was a number. That's a crazy number.
Now, when you say not reopen, you mean like that same owner, that same business will reopen? Like, somebody will eventually fill that vacancy. It just might not be a restaurant anymore.
I don't know about that. Drive through downtown cities. There's vacancies all over the place already.
Yeah. Wow. So you think they'll just be...
The thing about a bar or restaurant going down is you can now lease it because everything's built out for you. Mm-hmm. So you can now walk in on your own, save all that kind of money, and just cut a deal with the landlord. You got your equipment, you got your furniture, blah, blah, you're good to go. But you're opening an old restaurant that already failed. So you got to change it. You got to put money into it. You got to modify it. You got to make it new. It isn't so easy, guys. And what worries me is when we lose that amount of restaurants, think of the hundreds of thousands of employees that lose their jobs.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a washout, unfortunately. I was even talking about sports, and you guys know me with NFL and Sunday Ticket. But look at NFL arenas, for example. The past couple of years, they've been selling less and less seats. You can watch an NFL game now. There's empty seats, aren't there? Mm-hmm. So society has said to the NFL, when we speak, and we speak with our wallets, that a lot of us aren't going to the games anymore. We're really happy watching them at home. Well, now there's a reason not to go to the game, right? And you can get it at home. And there's so many places you can get it in so many different ways. So the fact of the matter is, I believe that the whole premise of an NFL arena, even a Super Bowl, guys, with 60,000 fans, we're not going to see that for a long, long time. I'm not sure we'll ever see that again.
Really? It is, because one of those things, like I didn't really know my grandparents that well, so I don't have a specific reference. But I feel like that was always something that people with grandparents said. Like they had these weird tendencies that they carried over from the war, that they just, it was something that always stuck with them. I feel like this will be something like that with us, where it's like, I don't really like being around people. I carry Purell in my pocket. I don't really like touching people. I like my distance. I feel like this would be something that, because even when I go outside now, it freaks me out. And I don't see myself getting over that anytime soon.
But you're telling me your body is clean. It's your brain that's the fucking cesspool. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, yes. And it's been that way for a while.
But think about this. Let's say you were going to a football game today, and you sit down in Giant Stadium, and the guy next to you coughs.
Yeah.
Is that freaking cool? Are you going to stay there? You're not going to think about that?
Yeah, no way. I know. And you know what's funny is, like, it was always gross. We just didn't, we didn't think about it. We didn't realize it. We didn't know how bad it could be.
But now it's top of the mind, Kev. Right. So we know how bad it can be now. And even if it isn't coronavirus, do you want to get the fucking flu? Do you want to get sick? Who the hell? So the safe thing is we're just going to be conscious about this stuff anymore. So I really worry about what happens in sports arenas. I worry about what happens in concerts, and then there's an interesting legal thing to this. So let's say one concert venue operator closes and doesn't open, and another one opens up. And now that one who opens up lets people pile up in front of the stage like the old days, and it's all packed and a concert goes on. And now at the end of that concert, a week later, a bunch of people get sick. Those people could, in theory, sue that concert venue for negligence because they can prove that the other concert venue was diligent by not opening.
Right.
So now the lawyers get involved in this. And what kind of a liability? And if one guy doesn't open, the guy who does is now liable.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors that play into this that scare the heck out of me.
What do you think about
One thing good is coming out of this, and it's political. Left and right don't hate each other so much right now.
Right.
We're starting to come together as a nation, sort of like World War II, if we will. And of course, I wasn't alive back then. But, I think there's somewhat as a positive side of this. It's Americans supporting Americans, regardless of our political beliefs. That's pretty freaking cool. That's the way it should be. So I think that's maybe the grain of good that I see sort of coming out of this is we're working together.
What do you think, speaking of working together, what do you think about the sports franchises who are, laying off staff and things like that? I thought Mark Cuban had a very interesting comment today where he said, what companies do for their employees over this pandemic will frame the reputation of the franchise for the next 20 years.
I think he's right. Mark is a friend. He's been on Bar Rescue. I don't know if you guys saw that one, but Mark's been on Bar Rescue with me. Mark is a very philanthropic guy. Mark has the money to do that. So he's lucky. He doesn't just own the NBA team. He has a lot of other businesses that feed cash flow to him. So he can afford to do that. I'm not sure that a smaller market, team can afford to do that kind of thing. This business, guys, isn't a cash flow business. You know that.
It's what we're dealing with in Boston right now with the Jacobs family, who they're a $4 billion family, and they laid off. I forget what the percentage of staff was, and the staff that remained on had a reduced salary. And the Devils and the 76ers who tried that, then the internet kind of kicked their ass up and down, and they retracted it. The Jacobs still haven't, and I just think that's a crazy thing because it's also you're taking advantage of Boston's a hockey town. It's a Stanley Cup team in a hockey town. The arena is going to be full. So people might go and hate the owners, but people are going to buy tickets to that.
But honestly, though, John, I mean, what Taffer just said, like maybe, I don't know, maybe it won't. Like, probably you're right, but it would be interesting to be like, well, you got your rich families are banking on money that might not be there anymore. I just can't imagine being a multi-billionaire and taking the PR hit right now. I'd be like, all right, whatever, just pay everybody, at least we're only 10 days in. If this was like 6 months, then I'd be like, all right, wait a minute. I know I'm rich, but it's still not economically possible. But this early to pull that plug is crazy.
Especially in Boston where
actually
there's a vacuum right now where you have the Patriots aren't, they're not the undisputed king anymore because Tom Brady left. Yep. So there's a vacuum kind of a little posturing for the number one franchise in the city. And the Bruins are set up. They're the best team in the NHL right now. They're set up to maybe take that crown. They got a young team. The Celtics also. And those are the two teams who are not paying their concessions, stuff like that. And then right away, but then right away, every single tweet right away is sell the team. Because that was the Bruins owner. That was the Jacobs family. That was their reputation 15 years ago. And then they won a Stanley Cup, bought a bunch of goodwill. And now you're just going right back into that being hated. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's almost like buying an expensive commercial, paying your employees. You're buying an expensive commercial to the public saying, I'm a good person, here it is. And then you're buying their loyalty as well because they knew that you had their back in the pandemic. They're probably less likely to leave.
Fans will remember that. But, I even look at teams like the Chicago Cubs, no matter what they do, they sell out.
Right.
Certain teams that are just successful by default. And it's interesting to see what happens with the Patriots this year. To see they just have an impact with them because they've lost a lot of their calling card. You were talking about delivery services to go. I just got to tell you, I read this in the Vegas paper this morning. There is a topless bar in Vegas that now has delivery service of dancers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So, yes, Kev, you can get a table dance at home, buddy.
I mean, what's the number, brother? Let me call up. They're doing virtual ones too, John. You can put the goggles on and get a virtual dance as well. So innovation everywhere now.
It's amazing. And back to sports for a second, guys. You know what else is going to happen? The media companies are going to seize this moment. They're going to say, okay, we're not going to sell as many seats in the arena. Let's get into split screen programming. Let's get in more cameras. Let's get in more technology. Let's make the home viewing experience really, really powerful so that we can pick up that subscriber base. And in essence, they're going to compete against the arena seats now because they have an opportunity and the arena seats are weak. Media is strong, and I think that's going to be a battle that we're going to see the next 2 seasons or so.
The NHL is actually, again, know your Knights guy. The NHL was, I think, just about to unleash. They tested it at the All-Star game, but they have some really cool shit. They have chips in the players' skates to tell you how fast the player's moving, track how fast they've like traveled in every game. They have some like pretty awesome, interesting advanced stats that, you know, when it comes back, I think will help the home viewing experience for sure.
What I'm happy about is I'm pretty close to the Knights out here in Vegas, and you know, every word I hear from everybody is that they're still looking at starting a season back up in July, and they still are looking at getting the season finished. Let's hope that happens.
Did you see what the projected, I think it was an NHLPA approved timeline, where it's basically like you'd start training camp in July, August, September would be the playoffs that we've missed, and then they'd go right into the next regular season.
Just keep it rolling. Wow.
Which would be insane, especially if like you're a good team. So you play full playoffs, right? Say you make the Stanley Cup this year, like the Bruins would be projected to do. Yep. And then you're still a good team. Like you might have to do a playoffs, regular season playoffs.
Oh my God! You better
think about that. And then there's no break for next season. But think about NFL. If NFL can't start, so now we have hockey, NFL, NBA, and basketball going on, and baseball going on at the same time. Could that possibly happen?
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
All of these schedules are going to get completely fucked up, and they're going to be on top of each other, and it's going to be fascinating to see how they even schedule this out. Because the NHL doesn't want to run games against the NFL.
No, nobody wants that before. Yeah. Let me ask you one more question. Will there be? I mean, you don't want to be opportunistic or seem like a vulture or anything, but with a lot of vacancies in restaurants coming out, and someone like yourself who you are wealthy and you know this game, are you thinking about swooping in and having a lot of restaurants just ready to roll?
Of course.
Yeah.
We're working on Taffer's Tavern concept now. But I was looking to take over the world with Taffer's Tavern anyway before.
Right. So, I mean, now, are you thinking that this is like you're going to get it at a discount now? Is that a good thing for you?
Probably.
Yeah.
I probably will get restaurants at a cheaper price. Landlords will probably be much quicker to negotiate with me. Give me spaces, a year rent free. I'll give you $200,000 to build it. I'll give you this. I'll give you that. Yes, it's going to become a lessee's market, not a lease market. And I think landlords are going to be very aggressive to get all kinds of businesses in. So I think that's the good part that comes out of this, guys, is the fact that there is sort of a correction that will happen. Prices will go down on a lot of things, which will allow new people to enter into those businesses, which I guess is almost like after a forest fire. The trees burn down and then the new ones butt up.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I end this positively, though, guys, for a second, because I think it's really important. We are an amazing country, amazing people. I've been reading day and night. We will get a vaccine to this thing. They will. They will get treatments together. We will beat this thing. It's only a matter of time. So this isn't a depression that lasts forever emotionally. This is dealing with it day by day, guys. We will come out of this. But the best way to come out of this is together. And that's what I hope this is doing for our country. It's pulling us together with a common purpose now to shut it down and then dig out of this thing. I know we're going to get there, don't you, Kev?
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, you laid out the blueprint. You shut it down. You fix whatever the problem is. You open it back up, and it's better than ever. So,
I say.
It's the Bar Rescue blueprint. Bar Rescues are back. It's Sundays at 10 o'clock. And you know the deal. Shut it down. Build it back up. And thanks for the insight. This is great stuff. Really, really interesting. Thank you.
My pleasure, guys. Great to see you both.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.